why don't you take us away as we talk about the freeholds here in Georgina?
Yep. So prices up 0.7% month over month. Transactions down 10% from 69 to 62. Year over year. So prices down only 4.8% year over year as compared to what we just saw in Aurora,
Yeah.
which was almost 13%. But transaction volume year over year, this is the first time we've seen a positive for this.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's because the further out you are, the more impact the you have on when prices come to the downside. So they've really already felt kind of the bulk of that potentially already. But interesting enough, like if you look at the termination volume, it's actually up 62%,
Yeah, it's interesting.
which is quite high. But median days on market down 26% from 23 days to 17. So there are a lot of metrics that are kind of going in the right direction here
Hmm.
for Georgina, but they're still not out of the woods fully just yet.
Yeah, they're almost some of those stats are a little at odds with themselves. They're kind of contradicting each other as we start
Yeah.
to see sales volume and price kind of go in the right direction, but terminations being up so high. I mean, maybe it was those terminations that led to the change that we saw in sale and price.
Yeah.
Ultimately, at the
And,
end of the day.
and what's different from all the other places we've seen so far is actually, I think there, I can't see if that's a mark on my screen. No, there was one month. It's very, very, you can't see it.
Yeah.
It looks like it's pink. What is it? Am I just seeing things on my screen, or was there 2017 had 273
Yep.
new listings? So there is a very faint line above that, but a lot of other places are kind of in the middle of the pack for new listings, but this one's at the second all time high.
Yeah, Georgina's high for new listings. I mean,
It
it makes
is,
sense though because their terminations were up so high, so it
yeah,
might not actually be that many more entering the market so much as it is there's just a ton of terminations and new inventory coming back in.
yeah.
Because, yeah, you're right. It's very at odds with everything else we're seeing in the surrounding regions and municipalities. For this to break the trend, like they're going lateral instead of rolling over like we saw, and they are the second highest. So it's got to be those terminations that we saw there in Georgina.
Mhm.
It's interesting.
And then active listings is the second highest. There is a line above that, which was in 2017.
Yeah.
2017 had 393 active listings. We have 357 now. So they're still sitting at 15-year highs for active listings as well.
Yeah.
But their sales are right there with a few other years. So Georgina in 2022 saw very low sales, 2017 and kind of 2018 at 65 there. So they've been in this neck of the woods before, whereas we're seeing in a lot of other areas, these are legit 15-year lows.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting to see. Like you said, there's like four other years kind of around where they've been.
Mhm.
Where they're like, we've seen this before.
And then prices are very tight compared to
Yeah.
where they've been, at this time of the year. Uh, and that's the thing with the outer regions is, yeah, you'll have that one year, which you saw in 2022 when prices spiked up considerably higher.
Hmm.
But for the most part, if you look at the last 3 to 4 years, prices are between what? The high end was 848 and the low end is
785 is now.
801.
Yeah.
Or sorry,
Yeah. Yeah.
785, which is
785.
now.
Like this is right here. These 4 years are all really bunched in tight. Like you
Yeah.
said, again, you remove 2022 because it was a peak. Get rid of that 848, and we're only going to 825 from our current 785. So we're talking about a spread of 50,000.
Yeah,
Um,
and you take out that the beginning of 2022 when things got a little extended.
yeah, I mean, look
Typically,
at
this
that, right?
market's quite tight, right? So,
Yeah,
where we're seeing some bigger divergences in the Newmarket, York region, and Aurora area, it's quite tight here.
yeah, yeah. Fair to say. And yeah,
And then
go
the
ahead.
months
Not
of
bad.
inventory, we've been higher quite a few times actually in the past. So it's not new territory for Georgina, but it is working its way to the high side. So it's always possible we see this continue to uptick, especially if sales start to decrease as the year goes on.
It's interesting to see this articulated so well, like visually represented, as we just kept moving closer and closer to a seller's market, all the way from 2011 down to the beginning of 2017. It was just like less inventory, less inventory, less inventory, higher prices, higher prices. This is the seller's market that we were just traveling to over all those years.
Yeah.
And then the big correction happened, and then we traveled back to it. Big correction happened, didn't travel to it. We just jumped right into it.
Yeah.
Correction happened, traveled down to it.
Yeah.
Inflation really kicks in, and then we're just kind of bouncing around a little bit. But it is like, look at this in 2020. We didn't. There was no travel back. It was just like, okay, we're
Yep.
moving towards the
Right.
seller's market. We're in a seller's market.
Yeah. We're in. Teleported right in.
Well,